Well, I guess I don't need this anymore. Access granted for a brand new edition of OwlAccess Pass, and it all starts right now. Hello, Owl fans, and welcome into TV Studio 3 for the final edition of OwlAccess Pass. I'm Lindsay Moppert. We're starting things off with the lacrosse team as the Owls continue on a hot streak, winning its third straight conference game, this time against the East Carolina Pirates on Saturday afternoon. Temple shown here in the cherry tops. The Pirates really dominated the first half of the game, scoring 6 straight goals at the start of the contest. Temple cut the lead to 2 goals after shots from Quinn Nicolai and Riley McGowan, but ECU still took an 8-5 lead into the half. The third is where the Owls really started to pick up speed with more goals from Nicolai, McGowan, Mackenzie Roth, and Maeve Tobin, who scored her first career hat trick. In fact, Nicolai had quite a day for herself, tying for the game high in goals with 5 and passed for an assist and picked up a ground ball. Temple only allowed the Pirates 1 more goal for the day, and Tobin, Abigail Ryan, and Julie Schickling all scored the final 3. Temple outscored ECU 15-4 the rest of the way to secure the victory and stay perfect in the AAC. The final tally, 15-10 Temple. And joining me now to discuss the Owls' next matchup is Owl Sports Update's Tanner Gilmartin. Tanner, thanks for being here. We know Temple's next game against the Florida Gators is going to be essential for them, especially because both teams sit at 10-4 overall and 3-0 in the conference. The Gators are ranked 10th, which is the second highest ranked team that they have played so far this season. So I got to know, what are your keys to the Owls winning this game?
Right, Lindsay, in such a tough matchup against a team like Florida, gaining possession and winning the draw will be a huge factor in this one. In addition to that, the Owls have to stay out of foul trouble if they want to stay in control of the game, because the Gators have scored 32 times man up this season. With that being said, they still need to play aggressively with such a strong and fast team like the Gators that shoot a lot.
Tanner, those are all great points, especially about being aggressive. The Gators are on an 8-game winning streak because of the team's will to win and major hustle for those entire 60 minutes. So if the Owls want this one, they're going to need to work for it. Another key I have here is to shut down the attack. This team is known to have a ton of capable scorers who consistently put up a lot of points every game. In fact, the Gators had 14 different goal scorers in their matchup against Old Dominion. Now, the last key I have for Temple in this game is just to make sure that they keep up a strong second half. No deficit is too much for the Gators, as they actually just went on an 11-0 second half run in their game against Vanderbilt. The Owls cannot settle. This big matchup against the 10th ranked Florida Gators will take place in Gainesville, Florida on Saturday at noon. You can watch it live on YouTube. And now we look to the tennis courts, where both the men's and women's teams face Tulsa in 2 tough conference matchups on Sunday. Both squads traveled to Oklahoma to end regular season play, and both matches did not end the way the Owls had hoped. After a tough 6-3 loss to the Golden Hurricane, the women's team now sits at 11-5 on the season. Now for the men, the Owls also fell to Tulsa 4-2, leaving them at 12-9 on the season. And with those losses, both tennis teams are set to move on and head back to Tulsa to compete in the American Athletic Conference tournament. The women grabbed the 8th seed in AAC standings, which puts them against the 9th seed South Florida Bulls in the first round. This match is set for Wednesday afternoon at 1 p.m. Now for the men, although the tournament schedule has not yet been released, the first round will take place on Friday and the last through the weekend. The men's crew team had double the success after competing in 2 different events in 2 states in 1 weekend. Not to mention, the women's rowing squad brought home some of its own hardware as well. Joining us from the Temple Boathouse to tell us more is Owl Sports Update's Matt Rainier.
The Temple men's crew team split up this past weekend as the Varsity 8 and second Varsity 8 traveled out to San Diego, California, and both teams were extremely successful out west, each earning a gold medal in the events they competed in. Meanwhile, the rest of the team remained here on the Schuylkill River in order to compete in Drexel's Kerr Cup Regatta, and they were successful as well, earning a bronze medal in their grand final event. And lastly, the Temple women's rowing team was also at the Kerr Cup Regatta, and they were even more successful than the men, earning 5 medals in the events they competed in. This included 2 bronze and 2 silver medals. Reporting here from the Temple Boathouse, I'm Matt Rainier. Lindsay, back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Matt. Get ready to mop it up one last time. Now remember that this segment is all about highlighting a feel-good story within one of the Temple sports teams. And for my final pick, I've chosen to highlight the gymnastics squad, but more specifically, head coach Josh Nilsson.
1, 2, 3.
My name is Tristan. I'm 13 years old.
My name is Ezekiel and I'm 10 years old.
My name is Remy. I'm 9 years old.
My name is Liam and I'm 6 years old. This is me, Asher, and I'm 3 years old.
5 young boys, and they all belong to Temple Gymnastics head coach Josh Nilsson. Yes, that's 5 boys at home for a guy who spends countless hours every day at work with more than 23 women.
It's why we don't have a baby girl.
When people ask me if I'm going to have a daughter, right? Are you going to try for a daughter? I'm like, no, I don't need to. I've got 23 daughters and a full female staff. I'm good.
And despite Nilsson living 2 completely separate lives, it doesn't mean his 2 worlds don't overlap. That is fatherhood and head gymnastics coach at Temple. And the boys just love to visit their dad at work.
Yeah, they're super playful and interactive, and we all make sure they feel seen. And I mean, this is like a huge playground for them.
From this playground in McGonigal Hall to the playground at home, Coach Nilsson has undoubtedly mastered living the best of both worlds.
The other night I went downstairs and we have all our beanbags down there and they're jumping off their medicine or their exercise balls doing front flips onto beanbags. I'm like,
And because some of the gymnasts have been in the program for 4 or more years, they have created close-knit relationships with the boys that members of both genders will remember forever.
Faith is my favorite.
Faith always plays with you, huh?
Faith always plays with me.
When I initially found out that Coach Nilsson has 5 boys at home, I was honestly amazed. I mean, I think that's just such a cool story about him and his family that most people don't know about, and I actually got a lot of funny stories out of it too. I think just about everyone that I spoke with said that they don't think that Josh could handle it all without his lovely wife, Amanda. So, shout out to you, Amanda. And how about his youngest son, Asher, saying he has a favorite? He was absolutely hilarious. And if you didn't already know, we've got our senior show on Thursday, but that isn't the only thing we have left this semester. If you've been keeping up with us here at Owl Sports Update, you may have heard of a special basketball documentary that will be coming out on April 28th on TUTV. For the Love of the City, we'll take an in-depth look at why and how college basketball has become a part of the sports landscape in Philadelphia, unlike any other college sport in this city. Here's a preview.
Temple, LaSalle, St. Joe's, Penn, Villanova.
The 5 schools, they loved each other, but they hated each other.
He was coached by John Chaney.
It was a family because everybody cared about one another.
This is a basketball city.
I don't know of any other city that would care enough.
And the fact that they played in one venue, for the most part, just made it different.
It's just remarkable. I don't know what else to say about it, but it's just unprecedented.
With my final minute or two on today's last episode, I want to take this time to thank the most incredible guys and crew that I've ever gotten the chance to work with. Gil, Jack, Danny, Will, and Brendan. None of what happens out here happens without you all. Since our very first day together, you have all pushed me to be my very best, and I am blessed for that. And together, we really are the best team. Breaking news 3+ times the morning of our show, we got it. Recording a creative cold open in negative-degree weather, we got it. Doing an entire remote show from Edberg Olson, done. Creating our own award show, we got that too. It takes a team, and I've been insanely lucky to call these 5 very talented guys all mine this past semester. We should have all tried to get jobs as a package deal, but you know, I guess it's too late for that. And one more thing before I go, I also just wanted to thank everyone who has contributed to my time here at Owl Sports Update the past 7 semesters. Starting with Sarah Metz, who asked me to join as a freshman in 2018, to Luke Milai being my very first co-anchor, and every single person in between, thank you. And of course, the man, the myth, the legend, Matt Fine. Thank you for dealing with my 100 questions and phone calls every single day and always pushing me to be the best version of myself. If you would have told the shy freshman in the back of the classroom that she would be solo anchoring OwlAccess Pass, she and Matt Fine both would have said that you're crazy. But seriously, Owl Sports Update has been the best part of my college experience and has truly been a blessing in my life. So for the very last time, your access is now up. For my entire crew, I'm Lindsay Moppert. Have a lovely rest of your week, everyone. And don't forget, #TrustTheFine.